Hello, Frank here. Time for an episode of Frank Race Review. We're going to talk about the March 15th Pennzoil 400 at Las Vegas. As far as the race goes, it was your run-of-the-mill NASCAR race. No crazy crashes, no endurances or anything like that. Only one caution for cause, and that was because of Connor's Village spinning late in the race and final stage, right in the beginning of pit stop. So it screwed Ryan Blaney and Austin Cindric's day a little bit, even though they did recover some, but it hindered what they could have had. And I think Blaney had a top 10 run, and along with Austin Cindric, so kind of destroyed their days. Your winner and the driver that led the most laps was Denny Hamlin. He bookends the last two Pennzoil races. Considering what he went through in the off season, this is probably bittersweet for him and a very emotional win. Because if you recall, this past last year or last fall, Denny Hamlin won and dedicated to his dad, whose health was failing at the time. And then since then, his house caught on fire, causing his dad to pass away. And so the next time they go to Las Vegas, he wins. So he's won the last two times that they were at Las Vegas, so he might become the new favorite for Las Vegas. So it's a good win for him, emotional win for him, and as a result of this win, he's now 10th on the all-time win list at 61. He passes Kevin Harvick, who he had a tie with, putting Harvick now 11th in the all-time win list. Next up would be Kyle Busch at 63, and at this rate, he'll probably pass him probably by the end of the season, maybe in the early portion of next season, but he only has, I think, this year and next year left on his contract, and he's done full-time racing. The only incidents, ironically, involved all trackhouse drivers. The first one, Shane Van Gisbergen, did a half spin on the first lap. Only reason it was a half spin because the front of his car clipped Chase Briscoe, correcting the car. But ultimately, during this half spin, damaged SVG's splitter, and if you damage the under portion of the car, it just pretty much destroys your day. Just ask Kyle Larson, because whenever he spun and hit the apron last year, it pretty much killed his day. He went from a top 5, top 10 threat then to maybe a top 25 threat. So a lot of downforce underneath those cars. I think broadcast said about 75% of all the downforce. So that pretty much killed his day. He ended up finishing last. The other on-track incident resulting in caution was Connor Zilic, who spun right at the beginning of the final pit stops in the final stage, which, as I said, kind of cost two of the three Penske cars a good finish. And the third driver, Ross Chastain, still not exactly clear what happened, but him and Daniel Suarez had a little scuffle. They bumped Ross Chastain bumped fenders, and then Daniel Suarez went up to him like, "What the heck is wrong? What's up?" And then Ross Chastain ended up shoving Daniel. But before anything else can happen, personnel broke it up. So it was really baffling because nothing apparent was shown or that I've seen that would cause that kind of outburst. Maybe it's just frustration with how his season's going. Who knows? This race had basically like 5 drivers that pretty much was up top 5 all race long until the end. And that was Denny Hamlin, who led the most laps. Kyle Larson, who led the second most laps. And judging by the second stage, up until that point, it looked like a Kyle Larson race because he took the lead and was just running away with it until the end of stage 2. He ultimately slid back to a top 10 finish, ultimately. So apparently they lost a handle a little bit there at the end of the race. And then you had two of the other 3 Hendrick cars, and that was William Byron, who a much needed good run, had a good run in this race. And then the other one being Chase Elliott, another top 10 finish. He's in a consistent machine, and this points for him, that's going to favor him greatly. He's probably going to be in top 5, maybe even top 3 in points all season long. That's including the chase format, unless he has a catastrophic failure of 2008 Kyle Busch proportions in the chase. He's probably going to be a serious threat for the championship. Tyler Reddick started off good. He ultimately faded. So he went from a top 5 threat to a top 10 threat, ultimately slid back to 13th. And the other driver who was a top 5 threat all day long and at the very start of the race looked like he was going to have one of the cars to beat, and that's Christopher Bell. He dominated the early portion of the race, and after he lost control of the lead, it was pretty much all she wrote for him for the control of the race. So he had the type of car that was dominant in front, but once he got in traffic, it looked like it probably didn't handle as well, maybe pushed a little bit more, didn't get enough clean air on the nose, so he still managed to get top 5 out of it, so it wasn't catastrophic by no means. A good points day, especially with Tyler Reddick finishing 13th. Drivers like Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, and a few others made gains on him in the points, because I think he now Tyler Reddick sits 61 over Bubba Wallace now, who leapfrogs Ryan Blaney due to that caution that pretty much cost him some valuable points. And you got to hear it for Chase Briscoe. Finally got a top 10 finish. It wasn't for lack of trying, though, because he was one of the drivers that got bit with a speeding penalty early on. And then on top of that, to compound things, he had a loose wheel. Went a couple laps down. Eventually got back on the lead lap and was just tearing it up through the field. Makes you wonder if he didn't get that speeding penalty, where he would have finished in the race. He might have been a good top 5 threat in the race. I don't know if he had a race-winning car. We wouldn't know unless he got the lead. So that's a good feather in his cap to turn his season around. There's not much else really of major precedent that happened. Stage 1 winner was Christopher Bell, and your Stage 2 winner was William Byron. So more points for them. Good points stay all around for them. A good race win for Denny Hamlin. So they're going to go to Darlington next week, and they're going to have they started announcing some paint schemes. RFK is going to have a tribute number paint scheme for all 3 of their cars. I expect the 16 car of A.J. Allmendinger to do something as well, considering it's the number 16. And I think it was just announced, prior to uploading this, that Carson Hocevar is going to do a Dale Earnhardt Sr. throwback as well to a Wrangler-style paint scheme. Your point standings as of right now from NASCAR.com is Tyler Reddick, who's in the points lead, has a 61-point advantage over Bubba Wallace, who's in second. And then Ryan Blaney drops 1 position, and he is now 67 back, still within a race. Both of them are in a race of the points lead, technically, with the new points format, because the most you can gain is 74. So technically speaking, they're within a race, but logically it's still 2 races for each of them, because it could take Tyler Reddick have 2 bad finishes and them having a couple good finishes to make up ground. And then you got Denny Hamlin, who jumps 8 spots to 4th, 78 back. So he's making a charge. And you got Chase Elliott, who, even though he finished 2nd and did good, still dropped a position to 5th, 87 back. And you got Christopher Bell, who stayed in the same spot, but he is now 91 back. You got Kyle Larson, who jumped 3 spots to 7th, 98 points back. And you got William Byron, who went up 3 spots, is 98 back as well, so they're tied. And you got Chris Buescher, who stayed in 9th, and 109 back. And you got 10th Ty Gibbs, who jumps 5 more positions. So if he keeps this going, Ty Gibbs is going to be a top 5, maybe definite top 10 threat in the point standings. Because especially with another top 5 today, he's going to be a tough cookie to just toss aside if he keeps this up. Because he gets runs like this, he's probably going to get a win. Definitely a good, strong top 10 points finish, because we're still early in the season, so some drivers who had a bad start still got to climb up in the point standings. So that's a good start for him. Hopefully he can stay consistent. Joe Logano, without the win in your end, is going back to what he's been performing the last few years. There's just been masked because of win you're in. He falls to 4th, falls 4 positions to 11th, 120 back. So almost basically just less than 2 full races to grab the points lead. And that he's pretty much where he's probably going to be. He's going to be a top 15 points threat. Brad Keselowski jumps 4 positions to 12th. He's 128 back, so he had a good race, so he climbs in the points. Ryan Priest also had a good race and jumps 5 positions to 13th, 130 back. Then you got Michael McDowell and Carson Hostcroft of Spire Cars, each dropping positions. Oh, actually, yeah, and they're 133, 137 back. And then rounding the top 16 as of now is Shane Van Gisbergen, who fell 11 positions, 138 back. Some notable drivers on the outside looking in. You got Daniel Suarez, 100 and is tied for 16th. So, and you got AJ Allmendinger, who is slipping in the points, 138 back. So we got three-way tie for 16th. You got Zane Smith, Ross Chastain rounding out the top 20. And then because of the great performance that Chase Briscoe had, he jumped 7 positions to 26th in the points. Still not great, but he keeps that up. He'll be a top 16 before you know it. And then Austin Cindric, he's had the speed. Just stuff keeps on happening to prevent him from having the good finishes he deserves. He's 30th in points. And then you got Alex Bowman, who hasn't been racing. He's the last driver, full-time driver, 36, 232 back. We'll probably find out this week if he's going to be racing at Darlington. Vertigo's nothing to mess with, so let's hope for a speedy recovery. But as it trails on, I fear that he could be forced into early retirement. But let's hope not. We'll see. Comment below your thoughts on the race, what you thought of it. I thought it was a good 6 out of 10, average run-of-the-mill race, nothing special. The only outstanding thing is all the pit road speeding penalties that we got. That was really the only talk of the town, and there was some passing for the lead and throughout the race, but Royal State Green was basically spread out for a good portion of the race. So comment below your thoughts, and then like and subscribe for more videos from me. And I will see you in the next video, which will probably be a news video later in the week. And I'll see you then.